Welcome to Gamersledge Podcast, the weekly podcast about video games with news, reviews, analysis, and opinion. Keeping you up to date on how to wisely spend your money for video games, movies, RPGs, comics, books, and more for over 16 years. Find us online at gamersledge.com. And now, your hosts.
Hello and welcome to Gamersledge Podcast. Come on in, sit down, relax, have yourself a hot, steaming cup of Batman vs. Superman trailer. I kid, we're not going to do any more of Batman vs. Superman.
We can keep going.
We've beaten that horse to death. Sit down and relax. It's a conversation between friends, a look at the video gaming industry, and a look at what it means to be a hardcore gamer. I am joined this week, starting all the way on my far left, all the way from the Great White North. It's Kate.
Hello.
Okay, now people can see when you talk. Hooray.
Hello.
Yay. And also joining us from the other Great White North, which is pork, I'm pretty sure. It's Matt!
Pork. We actually had ham last night. That was good.
You are what you eat.
Well, I have no idea what that was. Never mind.
Yeah, me either. It's a little scary, Don't scare me. Lots to discuss this week. But first thing, what we should do, that we always do, is we should go around the room and talk about, I don't know, this little thing maybe called video games. Kate?
Well, I have been sucking at video games lately and not been playing any. I've been playing Record Keeper. The past couple weeks have been awesome for me because Yuna's one of my favorite characters, and then it's Quaistis and Selfie. It's just like, yay, lots of new characters that I love. So I'm going through the Quaistis and Selfie event to get their, maybe it's Quistis, I don't know. I guess we'll find out if they ever remake Final Fantasy VIII. But I'm getting their memory crystals. I got Quaistis's.
What's her record material do?
I haven't gotten her 50 yet.
Oh. Okay.
I got the crystal. She's at like level 48. I ran out of growth eggs.
I've ran out like a while back, and I'm like, oh, need more growth eggs.
Well, because I had to use it on both of the girls, so it's like this is at 42. So I don't know yet. Her, limit breaker, whatever, is okay. Selfies is okay too. It's not a whole party. It's like a protect and shell on one person, so it's kind of lame. It's comparison to one part, like the whole party.
Yeah, that's not so great.
Whatever.
Sounds better.
But I like to use the characters that I like, so I don't necessarily care about what their limit break is. I actually played a little bit of Mortal Kombat X because I needed to download Predator, so I played a couple matches with him, and I wanted to try out Tremor because after the Combat Cast where it showed him off, I thought he was really cool looking. And he had some awesome fatalities, and I just really liked the way he was done. So I tried him out. He's pretty fun. He's got some different variations that do cool things. I also played some Dead or Alive last round, just cause. That's
hey,
about
did
it.
You see that they offered Season Pass 2 for Dead or Alive?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm kind of costumed out almost.
What do you mean? It's only $95 for all the remaining Season Pass stuff. That's a
for
steal.
100. It's for 100 costumes. I don't know.
I think
I'll probably end up getting it, just to be honest. But I have so much other stuff that I need to pay for.
There's so much
now.
Batman you could be playing for that.
Yeah, that's true. Or I could be renewing my passport for a certain trip that I might need to take.
Or even PlayStation Plus. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my priorities are totally not in order.
And make sure your Mortal Kombat, make sure you download the classic fatalities. Those are free.
I did download those. The Molina one looks awesome.
I'm looking forward to seeing how they've rendered these in full 3D.
They just do a fixed camera angle for them.
Yeah.
And then they do their classic win pose, so it's really cool.
But the question is, they did not put the Liu Kang dragon one in there, did they?
No, I don't think he got one. There's a first pack with Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Kano.
Kano, Kano. And then this one.
This one's got Kung Lao,
Kung Lao and Jax, wasn't it?
Jax and Katana and Melina.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah,
Must
I
have been
need
more in
to
the
boot
first
up.
Fatality pack, and I don't even remember. It might have been Sonya, or no, it was Johnny Cage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to boot it up. I just no time. Hooray!
Well, I can't really. I guess I could play story mode a couple more times or something, because I mean that's really fun. But I can't do any online stuff because my PSN Plus is expired, so I can't do any online stuff. But I mean, there's still plenty of other stuff to do in the game, so I have really no excuse except for laziness and lack of motivation.
All right. Did you play anything else?
No.
All right. That makes it easy. Matt, how about you?
Still plugging along in FFRK. Yeah, I've been disappointed with the limit breaks of the last few characters. They're kind of sad.
Eunice is good when you get her rod. It's awesome.
But the basic one that the character has is horrible.
Let me tell you something. I got enough for, I think, 4 pulls now, just in the new event. And whatever good luck I ever had pulling rares in this game, I have literally pulled 3-star items for over a month now.
Oh, okay, we're going to do this live. I have 15 mithril. I can do a 3-pull. Let's find out what I get.
I'm sorry.
It's going to be all 3 stars.
It's going to be all 3-star crap, because that's... I don't think I've seen...
I got a 3-star ice helmet.
Yeah.
4-star sword. It looks like a katana. And a 4-star other sword. That looks like it's from Final Fantasy X. A warrior sword from 10. It's 4-star. Katana. So I got a couple 4-star things.
Yeah, I've been combining all that stuff that I get into 5-star stuff or higher, but
or 6-star, because 4 stuff can go up to 6-star.
Yeah, but it's just been really, like, I played Marvel Puzzle Quest, and their percentages on getting like the uber rare characters was low, but it wasn't this low. I'm actually really a little discouraged.
Oh, sweet. The katana that I got, I already have one, so I can like upgrade it to a 5-star. Sweet.
Hey, that'll only cost you 200,000 gil. Oh, but you have
I have
like
3 million.
Yeah, so you.
Because I had like nothing to upgrade, so I'm still like riding 3 million gil.
Oh man, no! I get 200,000 and I blow it on combining one item, and so then I stop. Sorry, Matt. Sorry, you were talking about.
No, that's okay. I've been after not being able to get, after 4 or 5 attempts of trying to get Yuna's crystal and failing miserably. I'm back to like hating this game.
I don't understand. You're still not doing the Sunday level ups, are you?
Okay, Sunday, my phone generally is never in my hand on Sunday. So yes, I barely play the game, period, on Sunday, much less the XP dungeon, much less whenever I did do the XP dungeon, see the type of results that you talk about.
Yeah, that you have to play the Sunday dungeon.
Like I think I autoed to get Yuna's crystal.
I have autoed through the entire anything that's not an expert or the what do they call them? Yeah, expert level dungeons. I can auto through, and that's with my level 50 party. My level 50, like half. I've got a party that's level 55, and that one I can auto through about half of the elite dungeons.
Well, and that's probably part of the problem too. I generally try to use I'm trying to capitalize on the synergy, so I'm using the characters from the worlds.
Oh, and some of them are probably really
some of them are lower levels, so that's probably part of the problem too.
Usually what I'll do is if I've got one of those that I want to build up, I will swap one of my good guys out and leave them in, but then the rest of them are all.
That's what I'm doing with Selfie right now, since I couldn't level her as high as Quaestus. I'm bringing
Selfie.
That's her name.
That's how I've always pronounced it.
Is it? Okay.
That's her name, Selfie. What did you pronounce it as?
Predates the.
I don't know, but I just never made the connection till just now, I think.
No, it is Selfie. It's just when the game came out, Selfie
isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's Selfie. Yeah, you're right. I just didn't think.
But I'm using her. Like I traded out Yuna, who was like level 54, for her because she could get the record synergy right, and All the other people were still like in their 50s. Squall's like level 60 now.
Yeah, see,
But
I think
yeah.
the highest was like 52, I think, so.
Yeah, you like if you're gonna trade out people for record synergy, don't cripple your party to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe trade out like one person.
Because that's literally what I'll do is I'll swap one person and then leave my best people in the party and just auto through it. And if they die, they die. But most of the time they don't.
Well, and see, that's the other thing. I mean, it's like I can auto through the non-boss part, and then I get to the boss, and I can't stay alive long enough to get through all of the boss's hit points.
The bosses die in one hit to my characters.
In the regular
It's not
dungeon, they
possible.
super do, not in the elites.
The
It still
elite
takes a couple
dungeons are
hits.
way over 9999. You can't
The
do it in
regular
one attack.
dungeons?
Huh?
The regular dungeons?
No,
No, the
the
elites.
regulars, yeah. No, I'm talking about the elites where you're getting the crystals.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I just equip whatever the boss's weakness is, and then go in there and I auto through the boss, and then
If I remember correctly, the Uniboss doesn't have any weaknesses.
Which one is the Una one again?
It's one of those dragon thingies.
okay. But here's the question:
Oh,
have have you built armor break and magic break and power break?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are really good.
Yeah.
Once you hit them with all three of those,
And mental break too.
Well,
Because
yeah,
then your
I
mage
have
can do a
mental
lot more
break
damage.
also. Yeah.
Okay,
And pound.
I can't have that many
Pound.
support characters and that many damage characters in my party. Have you somehow magically broken the 2 ability limits
I
here?
think. Okay, here's a good tip for
To
you.
get all 6 of those
Use-
would take 3 of the party members.
Use one mage, use Una, and have her be like your white mage, or I guess if she's only level 1, don't use her. Use someone who's a white mage and have all the other ones be attackers. Don't worry too much about black mage. Have some like Cloud or Squall who can use like Thunder Strike, because it's just as good as magic.
Yep. Because that's what I do is on Cloud, I'll run power break, and then whatever the elemental strike is, that's the weakness of the boss.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what I'll do if they have an elemental weakness. That's
And
what I'm
Pound
saying.
is a really
Pound
good.
is great, yeah.
It's great.
Squall can use Pound. Cloud can't, can he?
Cloud.
I don't think Cloud-
I don't know.
remember.
I haven't
I know
used Cloud in a
Squall
while.
can use it for sure.
So I don't
I-
think
well, I
Cloud
have
can
it
do any
on-
support. That's a support magic.
Well, you also
isn't
have to start thinking about your record materia too. Like the way I have it, I have Cecil, Dark Knight version with the auto haste record materia, and he's got armor break and pound.
I
So
have
he
no
can-
time to do regular dungeons, so I have no extra record material.
That's the one that comes with Balthier though. It's just if you break Balthier's,
Oh
That's
yeah,
just
I'm
the one
nowhere
that-
near breaking both year to 50. No way.
get it. Record materia is worth it.
Haven't you been using the growth eggs?
I'm still rebuilding growth eggs after leveling both Squall and Sephiroth.
So put auto. Oh well, okay, you don't have it yet. But once you get it, I put auto haste on Sephiroth because Sephiroth.
Well, you have his like weapon, right? Like I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have anybody's weapon.
Yeah, I try to use your Wandering Warrior whenever I can, but it's really kind of sad. I'm kidding.
And no, you know what? It's true. I tried so hard to get that second weapon because that second weapon's ability is
Oh, the Shadow Flare, yeah, it's awesome.
just ridiculous. And so now I'm like, oh, look, I have an AoE that clears the whole screen, but it doesn't do blind.
Yeah, that blind one is pretty sick. That's very helpful. I get mad when I don't have that as a choice and I have a boss to go up against. Anyway, enough about silly phone games. Did some Rocket League, which is infinitely more fun with people than it was just playing it by myself.
Kate, you've got to renew your PlayStation Plus just so we can play Rocket League. We have to put together a Gamersledge Rocket League all-star match. Like, it's 3-on-3, and it is ridiculous.
can do 4-on-4.
I don't know if I can
Some
do it
months.
this month or not.
Well, whenever, it is the most ridiculous amount of fun in a free game that I've ever gotten.
I'll probably you might be building it up now.
Hey, listen, I can't build it up enough. Think about it this way. All right, there's this game that most of the world likes, except in America, called soccer. Okay,
Yeah.
but it's giant ball soccer with cars.
Oh my god. Okay.
Which are basically like rocket-powered RC cars.
And nitrous, yes, and nitrous. So there is, yes, and it is all kinds of just mayhem and chaos and a whole lot of fun, especially when you get people that are talking to each other and strategizing and trying to set up.
But it's not fun when your three rookie team goes up against a 3 semi-pro team.
It was still fun.
It was so fun up until they decided to stop just toying with us, and then they murdered us.
But that's why Gamersledge, half the folks playing against the other half of the folks, will be a fair match. Because Dave doesn't even know how to play video games, so that's fair.
Dave buys lots of stuff and then does nothing with it. Batman. Officially, according to the percentage counted on the profile load, I am 75% through the Batman stuff. I've finally cleared everything in the first island, all the Riddler stuff, all the.
I was going to say only 274 Riddler trophy.
Pretty much, yeah. It's still sad. I've cleared an entire island. There's only 3, and you look at how much Riddler stuff you've got done, you're like, you got to be kidding me. But I cleared out all the security towers, all the little subquests. I think I've completed all of the villain subquests. They still have one open that I don't know if it's going to end up ending in a villain or not. I don't think it is, if it's going where I think it is. But so the storyline. And again, it's an Arkham game. If you like the story plot to the Arkham games thus far, you're going to enjoy this story. I don't really get the complaints about Conroy's performance. I'm not finding it to be. There's a few lines that are off, but you're talking a few lines out of hundreds.
Did you finally get to the point where you know who the?
No, I have not. I've been slow rolling the storyline to do the side mission stuff. Because to get the full ending, you have to have all the side missions done when you finish the story mode.
I'm pretty sure I got spoiled in a Twitch chat that had nothing to do with Arkham Knight. I think it was like I was watching like the ESL Mortal Kombat Pro League thing, and someone just kept saying like Arkham Knight is and repeating it like every 5 lines.
Nice.
Well, I know who the game is heavily implying it is at this point. I don't know if that's the individual who it is or not.
Who are they heavily implying it is?
They're heavily implying it's Jason Todd at this point, which was actually my first guess, which then I switched to Damian Wayne, which I've subsequently found out is not true. So I was completely wrong on the whole murder case thing, too, because that's a new villain, and I had never even entered into my mind to think of that one. And when I say new, I mean first appeared in like 2007, so only 7 years old. So in the terms of Batman villains, that's really new. But I'm still enjoying it. I'm loving it whenever I can. Usually, actually, that's what I'm doing on Sunday. Usually on Sunday, if I'm not busy, I'm playing Arkham Knight because I don't get to during the week for the most part.
Well, listen, this is the strategy that I employ on Sundays because I do the exact same thing. I will auto through until I'm out of stamina, then I will go back and play for 2 hours, and then I come back and auto till I'm out of stamina, and by then I've gained a couple levels on my high-end characters.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. Maybe I can make adjustments here. So yeah, but I'm really liking that. Hopefully I get it done with here not too distant future because I've still got The Witcher and Dragon Age to get back to. So
see, and now I'm to the point. I had lent out my Dragon Age to someone at work, and I just got it back, and I'm still only halfway through it, and I'm sitting there going, Dragon Age, Witcher, Gwent Simulator 2015 wins. So. I'm not sure I'll go back to Dragon Age, to be honest.
Because it doesn't have a card game?
No, not that. It's just that The Witcher is... I'm actually looking at The Witcher thinking I'm never going to finish this game. For real. Like, I will continue to play it, but I don't think I'll ever finish it because
Is it like Skyrim? Does it just have endless quests?
It does not have endless quests.
Okay.
So there is a finite amount, but by the time I am done, it will be probably this time next year.
And then there will be DLC.
Right. The DLC is going to be over, like...
30 hours. I bought the freaking season pass because I could, and
I have been not doing it. I haven't bought it because I'm like, when will I get to it? Oh, right. Never.
Yeah, I haven't played the main story yet, and I think one's coming in October, isn't it?
Yep.
Sometime in that holiday time frame, and they're huge. The DLCs are huge. Okay, so aside from that, a sale that everyone, and I think I got the price right on this one, but I might be slightly off by a few cents.
No, you did.
Okay. A sale everyone needs to know about on the PS4 right now, if you have Plus, Bastion by Supergiant Games is $3.45.
Sold. I bought it.
Yeah, that wasn't even. I even went ahead and bought the Transistor theme for an extra $1, just for the heck of it. Supergiant Games. I love Transistor. I love Bastion. I've never actually finished Bastion, so I may actually do that. But it is definitely a game best played with a controller, and when I was trying to do this before, the hinky ways you have to go through to get a PS3 controller to work with your laptop was really kind of silly. So this will be nice. And then also, if you purchased Journey previously, you can download it onto your PS4 this week. If you didn't purchase Journey, then you can purchase Journey, which you should definitely purchase Journey because you will never understand how a little cape creature can make you have the feels it does.
I never did play Journey.
It's really good.
I don't have PS Plus right now, though.
Yeah. It's really good. The problem I have with Journey is I was waiting for it to pop into my thing to say, hey, download this. Because I have Journey on my PS3.
Mm-hmm.
Except it's yours.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
You never bought it?
It's one of the games we played out, or one of the games we shared content out. And so I realized that, oh my God, I don't own Journey. So I thought about it for a hot minute, but I'm like, you know what? I finished that game. I've still got it on my PS3. If I really want to play it, I'll just turn on PS3. So I'm not going to buy it again. Even though it's fantastic.
I'm going to fire it up just to see if I can tell any difference, graphically or anything. I'm imagining the game is exactly the same. I'm guessing they didn't do anything to change it, which is fine because it is amazing just the way it is. What's that song? Just the Way You Are? Yeah. So it's definitely a highly recommended game. It's that game company. It was their final of the 4 games that they made exclusively for PlayStation, and it is awesome.
So I have been playing Final Fantasy Record Keeper as well. I got both the characters last night, and I think I've got both the crystals now, but I probably am not going to put... Is Selphie a healer?
Yeah, she's mostly a white mage. She can use some black magic, though, up to 3 stars.
I still got Aerith is still my main go-to white mage, although I did level...
And Quaestus is a black mage, more black mage.
Okay. So...
Black mage support.
Yeah, I'll just probably not level them for right now. I've gotten to the point where I cannot auto through just the standard story mode dungeons.
They're getting difficult.
They're up in the 99 range. It's like, wow, all right.
I haven't played a story mission in like 2 updates.
How much stamina do you have now?
Like 75.
I'm in Mark.
My goodness, I've got 102.
I've got 96.
Yeah.
How does have time to do all the stuffs?
Because we weren't stupid enough to have children.
My children take up a much smaller percentage of the day than everything
Okay, so
else.
then let's all right, I'm going to say this. You're not going to be happy with me.
Well, no, I'm just saying I have time, and I put the
religiously-
time into the dungeons.
I religiously do this game. Like, literally, I will sign in at 9:01 every day, not play it, because I'm doing other things at that point, but I will sign in at 9:01 to get the daily...
the daily logins.
Daily login bonuses.
Right.
Then once I have all those, at lunch, I will pick something to do, whether it's a quest, whether it's working on the main storyline missions. And the thing you got to remember is that when you, if you do it right, as you're working through those daily, or you're working through the storyline dungeons, you'll get 2 stamina things on most of them.
Not on
2
the new
stamina
ones.
gems. Well, not the new ones, but the older ones. 2 stamina gems on most of them, meaning that you can deplete your stamina and then get just what you need to push you over 5 and refill your bar and do it all over again.
Right.
So that's push through those, and then once that's done, I will usually wait till the end of the day, and then I will play it for maybe 25 minutes when I get home, and then I'll check it right before bed and run myself out of stamina again then. And so that's kind of my pattern with the game. I play it quite a bit.
Well, your party, Matt, from what you described, I mean, you should be able to do some of the older elite dungeons, because you get 2 stamina, like some of the ones that are like level 40, between level 40 and 50. You should be able to get through those fairly easily.
Start with 7, because 7 was the lowest.
Or 6.
Dungeon.
I think I'm actually done with those. I have to look back and see what elites I'm. I did clear some of the elite dungeons. I just don't remember which ones.
So yeah, that's how I tackle it and run that way. I played some Rocket League with Matt, but also without Matt, and also with John, but also without John. I played more Gwent Simulator 2015, and next Friday I will be at Gen Con for the Versus relaunch, so that will be fun. I've also bought Bastion for $3.45. I also started playing a game called Moldicide. It's another iOS and Android app, but it is a spelling app where they give you a bunch of jumbled up letters, and there's zombies, and you're behind a glass thing with a computer system and automated weapons, and you spell words, and the longer words you get, the better. The longer words you make out of the jumbled up letters, the better weapons attack the zombies and kill them.
So Scrabble with zombies.
Except no board placement. You're just making words as quickly
more like
as
Boggle.
you can.
Boggle with zombies.
And as accurately as you can. And you try and chain things together. It gives you bonuses to your damage and speed of the ammunition and stuff like that. It's pretty sweet, actually. It is not a free-to-play game. I think it costs $2, which I happily paid. It's really good production quality, too.
And then I have been playing another game that I want to take a moment to talk about.
It is not on console. It is on PC and Mac. And it is one of the most unique games that I have ever played, and I am enjoying the hell out of it. It's called The Magic Circle. And this is by ex-Bioshock devs.
And the game's premise is a little hard to explain,
but the easiest way I could say it is that you sign on to be a QA tester at a game development company, and this company has been working on a game for the last, 15 years.
So Square Enix.
Or Bioshock, whatever you want to do, whatever analogy you want to put there. Duke Nukem Forever. You could say any of those. And there are 3 main personalities in the game company. There is the guy who's called Starfather, who's a character in the game, but he's the main writer of the story. Then there is Maze, who is the main programmer, who used to be a professional gamer, who moved into programming and is now programming this game. And then there is an intern who is the voice of the fans. She's the one who grew up with the game and believes in the game more than anything and will do whatever it takes to make the best game possible for the fans. And so you're going through this game that's unfinished, and you'll find a note that says, "This is a placeholder puzzle. Just take the thing and put it in the slot." Don't do the puzzle. Just take what you need and put it in the slot. And it's you play through this world as first person. It's all black and white, except after a while something happens that I don't want to talk about, to where you have the ability to muck with the game itself. they've taken away all your weapons, so there's no weapons in the game whatsoever. But when an enemy is coming towards you, you can trap it, is the easiest way to say it, and then you can edit all of its properties. So if it's a giant rat that's attacking you, you can trap it and say, okay, you move by the ground, and you attack with a melee attack, and you're hostile to player characters. You can strip all those properties off of them, and then just take the properties and put them in your pocket. And when you find another entity, like I found a corpse, well, I animated the corpse by putting that it could move along the ground and that it was a friend of mine and then has a melee attack. And so now it has a giant sword and is walking around. I basically gave a sword to a zombie. And now it's following me around and it fights for me. And you can do this with you can even do this with items. So like I found a mushroom on the ground. I gave it the properties of being, of having transportation and a melee attack, and now it grew fangs and a singular eye, and it hops around following me. So you can kind of explore this world and kind of get an idea of the troubled development history through audio files and stuff. But then sometimes the people are actually in the game in avatars, and you can see and hear them interacting in the game, like arguing, well, we have to remove this bridge because it creates too much confusion, or it's the wrong style design, and we'll put a new one in later. And you can hear all this bickering going back and forth as they try and finish a demo of this game for E3. It's actually really a lot of fun. It's a puzzle game at its heart, because you got to figure out how to get past certain enemies, what you need to strip off some things and put on others. And I'm currently stuck on a small puzzle that I've been working on for about an hour or so. But I'm really liking the game. It's really kind of unique. I've never seen anything like it before, and it's kind of like you're hacking the game that you're playing at the same time. Very interesting stuff. But again, it's on Steam. It's available on Linux, Mac, PC, and it's like $20. It just came out of early release, and it is now in full release, and it is getting tons of good reviews across the board. So if you have the ability to check it out, I highly recommend it. It's called The Magic Circle. And that's what I've been playing.
Alrighty then.
So that brings us to a topic that I want to talk about briefly with the two of you. So this week, Deep Silver made an announcement that they were parting ways with the company that they had hired to program and develop Dead Island 2. Techland obviously made the first games, but then they parted ways, and now they made Dying Light, which is an amazing zombie game if you've not played it. But then they started working with a company called Yager, which was doing the development work, and they announced this week that they've stopped working with Yager, and they didn't really give a reason for it, other than our two companies' visions diverged, which means somebody didn't like something, and we don't know which side was the one that instigated the split. But yeah. So here's my question. Dead Island 2, we haven't really seen a whole lot of gameplay footage, etc. Does the world need a Dead Island 2? And if yes, where do they go? Where does Deep Silver go from here? How can they differentiate it?
I'd say no. They do. There's always only, we're so saturated with zombie games. And, at this point, the way you described it, it seems more like the original company is to blame for the breakup, since they have a history of breaking up with companies that have helped them make games. So maybe, I don't know what their problem is. But it just sounds like it's going to be dead in the water if they're, going to keep firing companies that are making your game. And like I said, there's already like 10 million zombie games to play anyway.
Matt, what do you think?
Well, I don't have any experience with the first one, with
Dead Island.
Dead Island, the first one, or the Riptide, which was by all accounts crappy. So I mean,
There were a lot of people that liked it, to be fair.
okay,
That's why they were investing in a sequel to it.
right. So I guess I if they had something, if they have a unique hook, I don't know what their hook was for the first game. Is it a twin stick shooter? Is it, more or less supposed to be like Dead Rising? Is it
It's very much in the same vein. If you played Dying Light, it's very much the same vein of that. If you didn't play Dying Light, it is a walk around and attach a battery to a machete, so you have an electrified machete kind of thing. So
Okay.
It's got the crafting system in place, and then it's mostly a melee. They do have guns as well, if I remember right, but mostly melee, and you build different types of weapons.
Okay, so and Dead Rising has that same kind of thing.
Correct.
The announcement video that I remember made it seem like it's very goofy. Like it was a more shticky type game for 2. I don't know if the first one was again. And that could be the unique hook, right? I mean, and maybe that's where the Yager and them diverged. Yager wanted to make a serious game, and they wanted a lighthearted or sticky or campy humor game or something. Who knows? We don't know. But I don't play a lot of zombie games, and there's a ton of them out there. So I tend to think that there's unless they come with something really unique, I don't know that it's really worth them diving any further into this. I don't know what's left from what Yager did that they could salvage, or if they'd have to start from scratch, or what. But it's now if they could take the game and start it off on whatever the next every genre is going to include it in their game thing is, whether we move back to Aliens or they come up with some other thing, they could use this maybe to launch a new thing that's in everybody's game because it's so freaking popular thing. That's a direction they could go with this, try to start a new trend rather than riding on the coattails of one that's getting on the verge, if not already worn out.
Well, see, the reason that so many people were looking forward to Dead Island 2 is because Yager was developing it. If you're not familiar with Yager, that's the company that did Spec Ops: The Line, which that game was amazing.
It was way better than it had any right to be.
And kind of reinvigorated that franchise, because that franchise was pretty much dead before they came back, before they did it. So, like you said, I think there's a concern of, are they going to keep the assets that Yager worked on and then try and finish it with another development team? And if so, are they going to be able to do enough to differentiate it from other zombie games that are out there? From what we know of the gameplay, the answer really sounds like no. I mean, it sounds like it's still the same type of thing where it's 8-player co-op, everybody can come in, and then there's PvE events. I mean, they were basically making a zombie MMO, but just for 8 players. And there would be treasure copters that would crash somewhere in your groups and create a bubble where they can kill one another to claim the goods inside. I don't know. I just don't.
So if it's an MMO for only 8 people, it'd be like a NS MMO, not so massive online.
Yeah, I have a hard time saying that. Again, not being familiar enough with the franchise, it's hard for me to say, but zombies are kind of wore out. I think almost everyone is tired of zombies in all their games. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But like I said, unless they can find some unique way, and that doesn't sound like that's really the way to go.
I mean, I think Dying Light was a differentiator with the parkour movement and how they integrated that into the world that made it its own unique thing. It would still... Every other trope in the game was from every other zombie game.
building weapons and then going out in the world, discovery, finding loot, etc. That's all pretty much the same. It was really the parkour and how you could use that against the zombies that made it.
And they had a really good day-night cycle.
Yeah, they had,
too.
And the mechanics of actually moving in that game were fantastic. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think they managed to differentiate it enough. Is there something that you can think of that they could do that we haven't seen in a zombie game yet that would allow them to differentiate?
Well, I guess it kind of goes where I thought they might be going with it. If they could pull off a slapstick humor gore fest,
A la Sunset Overdrive?
yeah, something along that line. They might have something that wouldn't be a massive hit necessarily, but it would be something, kind of like Dave always talked about. Why in the world he picked like the worst game ever, but Prototype 1 being his like stress relief game, because you can basically just blow up anything in that game. If you could find that balance between challenge and just slapping zombie guts all over the place for just the sheer satisfaction of it, that there's somewhere there, and you do that with 8 But Friends, I can see.
I actually got an idea. That might be kind of cool. I don't know if it's been done already because there's so many zombie games, but
Yeah.
curing zombies. So you'd have to trap them and somehow be able to inject them without getting bitten. And then they come back to life. And you have to protect them from, once they come alive, you have to protect them from the other zombies.
I'm a horrible person. I always think, have the zombie apocalypse be the rapture, and then if you want to stop it, you've got to kill zombie Jesus or something,
But actually, I don't know, healing and protecting would be completely different than what's going on with all zombie games of just mowing down opponent after opponent.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with it. I don't think that
if we see this kind of game at E3, I'm suing someone.
I don't think they can walk away from it financially, where they can just say, you know what, this game, we're not going to release Dead Rising 2.
Yeah, they're probably too far gone for that.
I'm sure they are, but we'll see. So it's something to keep an eye on. So with that, let's get directly into the rest of the news for the week. Matt, what have you got cooking in the news burner?
Oh, let's see. A game that I never finished is coming out for PS3, PS4, and PS Vita. The Vanillaware classic, I guess it's probably been old enough now in video game terms we can call it that, Odin Sphere.
Excited.
What?
I'm so excited.
Yes, I mean it's a very pretty game. It's also a very long game. I had no idea how long it was going to be when I started it, and that's part of why I never finished it, because I thought it was going to be a relatively short game. And by the time I get to like the 4th character and I realize I'm like only halfway through the character list that you play through, I was kind of burned out on the mechanic. So I was going to take a break and get back to it, and I never went back to it. But if you're not familiar with it, you can find all kinds of stuff about it out there. But essentially, it's based on Norse mythology. You play a Valkyrie that is the daughter of Odin, who is referred to in this canon as the Demon Lord, rather than the king of not
the
Midgard,
Allfather?
Asgard. There you go. Yeah, rather than the Allfather or the king of Asgard. But it's got a lot of the Norse trappings. An interesting mechanic in the level where you can plant seeds that will grow throughout the level and either provide you with essentially what's mana for abilities or food to heal yourself with. There's an interesting recipe mechanic for in-between levels. And a storyline that is so convoluted the writers of Lost would be proud. But it all works. I mean, I make it sound kind of negative the way I said it there toward the end, but it really all works and works well. The only thing, like I said, is I put a ton of effort into developing and working with the first character, and then you move on to the second character, and none of that matters.
Well, it will eventually.
It will eventually, but yeah, you move on to the second character, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm right back where I started, like hours and hours and hours ago. And so once I realized that, I didn't put nearly the level of effort into the second character and moved on to the third character. Didn't put nearly the level of effort into the third. Moved on to the fourth character. How many of these are there? And the answer is a lot. I think there's like 8 different individual character storylines you play through before the whole thing comes together.
And the nice part is that each character does play very differently.
Yeah, they do. There's different styles. They're very different. Whether they're more focused on melee or more focused on range attack.
Did you mention it's an action RPG?
I don't know if those words ever actually exited my mouth, but yes,
Okay,
action RPG.
It is an action RPG, side-scrolling.
Side-scrolling, 3D kind of art. It's
with
very much like
circular levels.
Yes, so yeah, you basically just keep running and running and running and running and running and running and running, and you just, yeah, you watch yourself on the map and you go, so, yeah, it was a fun game. It would be interesting to just see it up-resed for the high def, because the hand-drawn style art is very, very, very
It's going to look pretty on my Vita. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, exactly. So, whoa, I missed this when I read it the first time, though. Right now, there is no word for an international release.
Yeah, they announced it would be available in January in Japan, but you can almost guarantee that one's coming over because they have a history of bringing those over stateside. So I'm sure.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. The what was the Masamune Reborn? I think that was a Vita one.
Yeah.
That was a good one too. And only 2 characters, so a little less stick with the character swapping.
So,
but yeah, that's a good one.
A couple weeks ago, we mentioned that The Vanishing of Ethan Carter released on the PS4. The development group that was responsible for the game actually went to Twitter today, I believe, or yesterday, one of the two.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. The Astronauts is the development group that created it. They said, hey, it took us 10 months to make The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. We recouped the cost in the first week twice. So thank you to all the players.
Yeah, holy short development cycle, and then wow. So
yeah.
I mean that's got to be a study for some sort of agile development or something.
Well,
right there.
no, because realize that's that's probably how long it took them to port the PC version.
Well, okay. Oh yeah, right. Because yeah, so they weren't developing it from the ground up. They were just porting it. Yeah.
They were just porting it. It took them 10 months to do that. So. Yeah.
But still, congrats to those guys.
Yeah, congratulations to them. That means
did you buy
more
it?
Games on PS4. I did buy it. Yes.
Did you?
I have not yet had a chance to play it, but I did buy it.
I haven't, and I kind of have a feeling it's going to be a plus title one of these coming months here.
Do not. No. Well, talking about games that didn't quite live up to their expectations.
Not Destiny.
Oh, no. Project Cars.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The developers of Project Cars made an announcement this week, and their development studio, Slightly Mad Studios. They confirmed that the Wii U version of Project Cars has been canceled because the Wii U, well, quote-unquote, Project Cars is simply too much for the Wii U. So they're basically saying that the Wii U does not have enough horsepower to run Project Cars. And that the company is instead awaiting news on the NX console rumored for reveal next year, and they may consider bringing it to that instead.
And
not enough horsepower.
And that's the third version of it that's been canceled, right? Because they canceled the 360 and PS3 version too, didn't they?
Correct, they did. So that's an interesting tidbit. Still more third-party support from Nintendo.
And you've played the game though, right? Haven't you, Mark?
I have not. I really want to, but I have not. I'm still trying to not buy games and be fiscally conservative. Bastion for $345 notwithstanding.
I think we can let that one slide.
Yeah, I think so too. Hey, Kate,
Mm-hmm.
are you ready to rock?
Probably not.
Oh, well, that's probably true because if you wanted to play Guitar Hero this weekend, you can totally do that at a U.S. Best Buy.
Oh, yeah, that works out so well for me.
I know,
Con-
yes.
Considering I also hate the guitar controller. Like, if I play Rock Band, I have to be the singer because it's like I'm a four-thumbed monkey when I try to use that thing. I just
What about
can't do
drums?
it.
What about drums?
I've never tried the drums.
I think you would like those. Good tension relievers, too, because you get to beat things.
But I can't use the guitar ones. So I won't be playing Guitar Hero.
Well, they have said that this weekend there will be 120 Best Buy retail stores in the U.S. that will have a PS4 demo of the game available to play. I will probably actually try and venture out to see if there's one near me. But yes, there's a list that you can find online of the ones near you, and you'll be able to rock out on it should you so desire.
Every time I think of Guitar Hero, I think of the South Park episode of Guitar Hero.
Absolutely.
Heroin hero.
Nothing wrong with that. What else do we have in the news bucket here?
On Saturday, there are no Best Buys in Wisconsin that will have it.
Hey, look up by me and tell me if mine's on there.
Okay.
While I go over the next story. So, Matt's been playing Arkham Knight. He likes him some Arkham Knight. Apparently, so do a lot of other people. Because MPD revealed this week that with a little bit of math done, Sony has sold over 120,000 Batman Arkham Knight bundles in June.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
So at $400 a pop times 120,000, that's a hefty little chunk of change right there.
I bet they're hoping some of those were in Japan, which weren't. Because Japan's consoles are sucking.
NPD is only United States.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
They wish those consoles would sell in Japan, though.
Well, they're trying to make a push for it. In fact, I didn't include it on the news, but there's literally about 12 new JRPGs coming out in Japan for the PS4 over the next, 3 months. They are going nuts trying to get that game, or get that system a foothold in the Japanese market.
It's not even just the PS4, it's because the Xbox One isn't selling anything either. It's just they don't care about consoles anymore.
Yeah, pretty much, because it's all mobile now. So I'll be interested to see, and even Square came out and said, hey, we hope that the Final Fantasy VII Remake moves consoles.
I think it will.
I think it will, too.
If it doesn't,
big stuff.
They have their priorities wrong.
God, if they release a Final Fantasy VII Remake PlayStation 4 console bundle, that's bad news. Because I might actually consider buying.
Depends what color it is. If it's black, no, because the one I have is already black. But it's like silver or white or something.
Or even blue, like the color of materia. Oh, I would do it. I don't know. We'll see. Matt, did you find a Best Buy near me?
Right now, I found Troy in Sterling Heights, which is by Detroit. The other one on Saturday is in Altica, and I can't find Altica.
Nope. Nothing near me.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, there was one in Wisconsin on Friday, but that's over in Milwaukee, so yeah, I won't be doing that.
The other piece of news that I had, the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter closed up at $6,333,296, becoming the most funded video game Kickstarter of all time. Broke all the records for fastest to funding, etc., etc.
Which is amazing for a game that's about walking around and drinking coffee.
And working.
And working.
It's a very Japanese game. That's why I'm kind of looking forward to it. To be 100%. So yeah, they're gonna work on the game, and they said they are still gonna take donations via PayPal.
I don't know how that's going to work, etc. But yeah. So it'll be interesting to see now if Yu Suzuki can actually deliver on his promise for Shenmue 3. Other things I have.
Last of Us.
Yes. Hey Matt,
Hey, what?
do you like records and being a hipster?
You know what? I don't even own anything that will play a vinyl.
I don't
record.
either, and that's actually kind of sad. But I do not own a record player of any kind. Do you?
My parents do, though. I can go over to my parents' house.
Yeah,
and
it's
rock
broken,
out to
though.
some-
It's broken though.
Do you enjoy being a hipster?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Well, then I've got a deal for you. How about a $75 vinyl treatment of the Last of Us soundtrack
No thanks.
in rare, limited quantities?
I have to spend all that money on my 1980s fade hairdo and Urkel sweater.
Did I do that? Sorry. Julia lied. Yay.
It's some pretty sweet art on the stuff, though. I do have to say the sleeves.
You know, my big critique of it is that some of the art doesn't go along with my vision of the theme of the game, or my vision of the mood of the game.
Mm.
I don't know. It's still $75 for vinyl press is pretty
Ridiculous.
Well, it's a 4-disc. I mean, it's not just one disc.
well.
And I don't-
Yeah,
I
but
don't-
it's gotta be because it's records. It's not. It's uncompressed data.
Well,
Wax
right. It's analog. I mean, it's not even uncompressed. It's analog.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. I buy all my comics every week at a record store, and I don't even know the difference between. But it's important to somebody probably what the difference between a 180-gram black vinyl versus some other gram. So I don't know if that's the heavy kind or the light kind or what. I don't know.
I think 180 gram just makes it harder to snort.
I see. But there aren't any gimmicks. It doesn't spin and make holograms like that Jack White's one or anything. It's just straight up black vinyl with some cool art on it. And knowing how hipster and how in vinyl is right now, yeah, $75 for a 4-disc set. That doesn't surprise me really.
I will be the first to say that the Last of Us soundtrack is amazing, but
you can listen to it for free on
yeah, exactly.
Spotify.
$75, amazing, not so much. So I do have one other story about everybody's favorite game. I'm kind of sad Nick's not here because he would have gotten a kick out of this. Everybody's favorite game, Destiny, is in the news again.
The game that wouldn't die.
I have to say that this story is impressive to me. Within the first raid, called the Vault of Glass, there are these oversized enemies that you fight outside, but these are called Gorgons, and if they see you, it wipes out your whole party within about 10 seconds. Well, apparently someone noticed that if you kill them, you can kill them, but it takes like your entire team to do it, and you still all die at the end because they spotted you. Well, apparently if you kill them in a certain order, it's possible to kill them all at once. And so a raid team got together and killed all of the Gorgons at the same time. The hope was that the developers have mentioned that there could possibly be a 6th hidden chest in the raid itself. People were thinking that if this could possibly be done, maybe that's how you spawn the 6th chest. Do you think that's how you spawn the 6th chest?
Nope.
Nope! So, good job, guys, but still no 6th chest. So that's
This game is
So
full of
all
like
those people, Nick can't get a raid together, but all those people got this giant raid together. He'd be fuming.
No, see, Nick knows what his problem is. Nick keeps doing pickup groups. He's all like,
oh, I'll just post on a message board and get random people to join me who I don't know, and I don't know their attention spans, et cetera, et cetera. And so what happens is one person takes a minute to go outside and take the trash out, and then 4 of the people bail. Whereas if he was playing with an established group, like John and I's group, where we know the people, we know what they play like, we know what to expect from them, he could be plugged into that group and actually do the stuff he wants to do, but Nick won't play at a reasonable time. He wants to play at like 4:30 in the afternoon on Tuesdays, which doesn't really work. So,
especially when most of your guys' group is in California.
Exactly. So I keep trying to talk to him into doing a reasonable time, like either late at night or on a weekend, but he doesn't want to do that. So we'll see if he ever gets.
Well, then he doesn't want the trophy that badly.
Yeah, that's kind of what I told him. Love you, Nick. Why do I have this story in the news feed? Probably because I wanted to talk about it, but so there is a Warhammer fantasy game coming out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. This is not Warhammer 40K, which is Space Marines. This is Warhammer The End Vermintide. And it talks, you play through, it looks like it's a first-person game, but a lot of melee combat, etc. Kind of think of a Dark Souls kind of situation, only first-person. But
giant weir rat.
Yeah, so that's the thing is I actually have a ton of Warhammer Fantasy role-playing books, and I love that system in that world. And this is actually talking about the end of the fantasy world. They are actually rebooting their fantasy world, and this is the end of the current age. And no one knows what's going to happen next, and this video game literally is the story of what happens at the end of that universe. And it looks like the bad guys are going to win. So I'm really kind of interested in this game. So it's kind of a Victorian fantasy world in which Germany is America for all intents and purposes, and the rest of Europe are supporting characters. It's very, very interesting stuff. So I will be interested to see that. That's coming out Q3 of this year. So,
side story: everybody hates the new system that's coming out.
Oh, do they?
I know 3 different people that are rewriting the new system.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I only play the old system because the old system is amazingly good. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a Warhammer End Times Vermintide.
Sounds interesting.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah.
Vermintide.
That it should start with a W. Vermintide.
Do you have any other news, Matt?
I don't have any other news, but I have been talking with our you remember Lee from our
Yes.
Battlefield days, right? And he picked up Rory McIlroy. PGA.
No, I've heard it's horrible.
And well, the gameplay itself and the mechanics are fine, except for the putting. He says the putting is unnecessarily difficult. But it's like every option that's been in the game since like 2000 is gone. The create a character is like 5 options.
I've heard it's extremely limited.
The club, there's no motivation to buy or you get different club sets or anything because you used to use this golf club set and it gave you +10 to distance or whatever. It was very RPG sounding while he was describing it. But it's like basically the consensus of him and those that he's been playing the game with is pretty much that, okay, when are you going to give me the rest of the game? It's like, okay, I paid my $60 and I got, a demo. Where's the rest of my game?
Well, then that's going to bring us to reader mail.
Mail time.
I don't have I don't know.
Well, that was the thing from Blue's Clues.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because you would have known that,
Absolutely. Now,
Here's the
Alright,
mail, it never fail. It makes me want to wag my tail. I'm sorry.
Alright, here we go. Mail call. Of course, we'll use that one. That's perfect.
Sneak!
Video Cassette Gamer asks, what is each of your favorite Final Fantasies? So,
Can't see it if you don't talk, Matt.
Six. Six.
I don't know, I see a 1 and then a 5. You're saying 15.
No. There, that's an extension of the other hand. No, 6. And unlike the common convention, which is kind of like Doctor Who, your first is your favorite, 6 was actually my second Final Fantasy. I played 4 was my first. I didn't
4 was
play,
my first as well.
and actually Mystic Quest was my first, if we want to get technical about it, which wasn't really a Final Fantasy game, but it was published under the title here. Yeah. That was actually a Dragon Quest spinoff that they published under Final Fantasy. I forget, whatever it was. But yeah, 6.
Stay on target. Stay on
Stay
target.
on target. 6 is my favorite. There have been others that have vied for that position and have gotten close, but as far as the story and the characters and the world, part of it I'm sure is because it was all new at the time, but it just. That one's always got a spot, and I actually won't
remake that one.
Yeah, I'd love a remake of that one because I kind of refuse to go back and replay the original because I'm just afraid it's not as good as I remember. So yeah, a remake of 6 would be awesome.
All right, so 6 is your favorite. What's your second favorite? Just give me the title. I don't need the
second favorite of mine.
Yeah, second favorite of yours.
I have a feeling it's going to be 15, but as it stands right now, it would be 7.
And third favorite?
Geez, Matt's given where he has to do 3. And
I know,
he
can't do it. It's amazing. If I would have just stuck with the 1, he would have been here all night.
No, sorry, I dropped for a second.
What's your third favorite?
Third would be 12.
Okay. Kate?
First is 8.
Yep.
Second, 10. Third, 6.
See, mine's going to be 8, 12, 7.
12 and 6 are really close for me.
Yeah, that's it. They're all right there. I mean, I love all of them, to be honest. There's not a bad
Except
one.
for 13.
Except for 13 and
I liked 13.
Screw 9 in the ear.
See, I liked 9 too.
I liked
up until
9.
the last disc.
Yeah.
The first 3 discs were great.
22 Link 22 asks, when it comes to an old-fashioned game night, what are your game fuel, i.e. snacks and drinks?
Wine.
See, Matt and I have gamed together before, but it's almost always something different. I don't know that I necessarily, like, if it's by myself, it's nachos and root beer. But if it's a big group of people, then usually we'll figure out something to do for the whole group. I mean, I've done sushi and sake before. We had a professional chef come in at one time.
You did. You had steaks one.
Yeah. So, I mean, we kind of, for me, gaming is always a social thing, so I always try and make it about the food and the fun and the gaming and all that stuff. So.
And see, now, for gaming by myself, I'm challenged because whether it's a game where it's a tabletop game, shut up, or it's video games, I like keeping my stuff nice, so most snack foods are not conducive to snacking and doing the game at the same time. So I tend to not snack if I'm going to do snack. Well, when I do a game and snack, a game and snack, it's take a break from the game, go grab a bite to eat, wash your hands, and then come back to the game.
Wait, what's this thing you're talking about? Take a what from the game?
Break.
What is that?
Yeah, I know. Well, like when we did that Guitar Hero night where we played Guitar Hero till the wee hours of whenever, whenever wasn't your turn, that's when you went and ate.
That's true.
But, yeah. Otherwise, popcorn. Always popcorn.
Do you all listen to music while you play video games, or do you enjoy the music the game provides?
Depends. Like if it's a game that I've heard, if I'm just grinding leveling, like on my PSP for like 7 or something, I've heard the music ad nauseum, and I'm gonna hear it for like 3 hours straight. I'll mute it and put on like MP3 or something like that. It really depends on the game. Like I can't have a definitive answer for that one.
Matt?
Modern games, no. I will not listen to music other than what comes with the game. I'll listen to nothing before I listen to something else. Old games, and I'm talking old, like Space Invaders. We used to, my cousin and I would get together and we would blast the Iron Eagle soundtrack while we played Space Invaders for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. So, old school games like that didn't really have a lot of music to them or something. But for me, there's something about it. It bothers me. Like my wife will play games with no sound at all, just playing the game, no sound effects, no music, nothing. Drives me up a wall, and I'm not even doing it. Yeah, if it's anything that's been, from Nintendo NES forward, pretty much no, I'm listening to the sounds and the music that comes from the game.
I will only play in surround sound. I cannot not play in surround sound, and there is no music to be played other than the in-game music, although spoken word podcasts are fine. So once in a blue moon, I will listen to a spoken word podcast over the top of the in-game music and stuff because there's really not interference there. But generally, I won't do that because I want to pay attention to the game. But if it's a game where I can zone out, like maybe
if I'm just like doing free training in Dead or Alive or something, I don't need to hear the music.
But I'm one of those people. I do. I have to hear the music. That's how it gets ingrained in my brain, and I know every note and chorus of it. So when I hear it later, I appreciate it more. I'm weird, yeah. But that's.
I'm right there with you, Mark. I know exactly what you're saying. So.
What game series or game do you think deserves another game to follow up after?
I have an answer for that one.
Mine is Jet Set Radio after Jet Set Radio Future.
People would think mine would be Silent Hill, but it's actually Vagrant Story.
Yeah.
Vagrant Story is a good one.
Good one. Chrono Trigger needs a real sequel.
A damn. No. I'm fine with Chrono Cross. Just give us something in the whatever.
Something in that universe. Something, in that thread. So.
Well, if you're taking that one, then I'm going to have to go with Suikoden. Because we've not had a good Suikoden game in a long time.
Haven't had a Suikoden game in a long time.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we haven't had one in a long time.
When was the last one? 4?
I think
4, and that was. It's still.
I don't even remember playing 4. I remember playing 3.
2005. Was
it that late? I don't think it was.
3 was the last one I got, and that was just after. That would have been.
We'll look that up.
Yeah, we'll look that up. I'm guessing, which is stupid.
All right, final questions of the evening. Wrapping up the podcast. Quick fire questions. These are one-word answers. No
Matt.
Deliberating or trying to shoehorn 3 things in. All right, the first one does require a little explanation. The question, game reboots, a solid yes, or keep the old versions on new systems. So in other words, which do you prefer more, a reboot of a series or a port of the old one to the new hardware? So reboot or port. Kate?
Reboot because ports to the new one look like ass.
Thanks, Matt, for your one-word answer.
But it's true.
Well, we would call that just an HD remaster, not a reboot, though. So you could have the HD remaster in there. So if that
Of a
changes
Super
the-
Nintendo game, though? That would look awful.
Well, DuckTales. I mean, it wasn't a strict remaster, but they built the game basically exactly the same, just in pretty pictures.
Does that
still
change
going
your
with
answer at
reboots.
all? Okay, reboot. Matt,
Classic.
classic. I'm right there with you. Deadpool, more or less. Kate.
About the same. I'm just making.
That was even Canadian.
You are Matt today. Come on now.
I guess more.
She's just trolling me now, is what it is. Matt?
Okay. I don't understand the question. More or less.
Deadpool, more or less.
We need more Deadpool or less Deadpool? That's the
Correct.
question?
That's the question.
Less.
More! Mario
Matt's
or
getting
Link?
booted.
No, because then I can't get him back
Then
on
you can't
the
get me back as we. Poor Dave.
Why do you
That's
think
why Dave
Dave's not
didn't
here?
join tonight.
That's right. Mario or Link? Kate?
Mario.
Link.
Mario.
It's
So there we have it.
Mario.
It's me, Mario. Yes. He did it again this year. They had video of him just following people around. It was very sad. Yet again for the second year in a row. I'm like, dude, you have no friends, do you? He's like, no. No friends for Mario. Poor guy. All right, that's going to do it for this week.
I do
as
have the
always,
answer. I have the answer on the Suikoden's, by the way, if you want.
go.
There were 5, actually. 4 was released in the North America in 2005, February 2005. And
The North America.
The North America.
What?
Did you look it up on the internets?
Were you from the
Okay,
Louisiana
I just
Purchase or something?
misspoke. All right, I'm trying to do this quickly.
Was this on the Facebook? I'm sorry.
Yes,
go
it was
ahead.
on. No, it was on the wiki. So North America in February of 25, and 5 was released in North America on September of 2006. Which I can't even think of the cover of what 5 was. So.
You know, now that you mention it, no, 5 was a PS2 game, I think.
Yep, 4 and 5 were both PS2 games.
Yeah, I remember 5 now. 5's got the white cover with the big V, if I remember right, and then lots of color around it, if I remember correctly.
Oh, actually, 3 was a PS2 game too. I forgot that.
Which one was the one where you had the 3 people? That was 3, right? Like you controlled 3 different characters.
Yes.
One was a
that
blonde girl
3.
named Chris or something like that.
Yeah, that was 3.
Yeah, that's the last one I played.
Oh boy. So, final thoughts for the week, Kate?
I'm turning into Dave. I don't play video games anymore.
You gotta shave all your hair off though first.
I don't think I have a good bald head.
Matt, final thoughts?
I need to play more games. That's my final thought. I need to play more games.
You need to get better at Record Keeper.
Yeah, but then I might actually have competence at a mobile game. And
oh my God! Heaven forbid that.
Yeah, I know. That would like
Get
ruin my
rid
whole
of.
rep.
And last but not least is me, I suppose. Let's see. Get Rocket League if you haven't gotten Rocket League, and if you have PC or Mac or Linux, do get
Magic Circle.
the Magic Circle, because it is really interesting and fun so far.
And it's what, $20, isn't it?
It is $20. That's it. So, last but not least, I'll end the show the way we always end the show. How does the man in the moon cut his hair?
I don't know, Mark. How does the man in the moon cut his hair?
He clips it.
Oh.
Boo.
Until next week, if you like what we do, please do follow us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook, gamersledge.com/Facebook. Tweet at us. What? Facebook.com/gamersledge. I did it backwards, didn't I? I'm not paying attention to what I was doing. Yay!
Because you're in North America.
You're now hosting Facebook.
We are at Gamersledge on Twitter. You can check out the website, gamersledge.com. Of course, you can also find us on Pinterest, as somebody pointed out on our Monday show. Pinterest.com/gamers. Yeah, we've had Pinterest since the inception of Pinterest. We've had it.
Weird.
We post all of our videos there and a lot of our images from our news stories. You can also, if you like what we do, please do like and subscribe here. And then, of course, if you'd like to support us, you can head over to patreon.com/gamersledge. Until next week, for Kate, Matt, and myself, game on!
Game on.